What are the biggest myths people believe about lawn care?
That it's hard. I mean, it's just a lot. It's just like, oh, I just have no idea where to start. And it's almost like this overwhelming thought that they have when they look out at their lawn. It's just like, it just doesn't look good. Like I have no idea where to start. Start mowing it, start feeding it, and give it some water. That's honestly, like truthfully, if you just mow it consistently, feed it consistently according to label instructions,
Hmm.
and water it, a good amount, including rainfall, about an inch per week. And if you don't know how to calculate how much rain or water you have, put a little rain gauge out, out on your deck or something like that. And if you get an inch, well, you don't need to water. If you didn't get an inch, well, you turn on your sprinklers for a while. It's just, it's really that easy. And then for getting rid of weeds, that's another big thing. Is like I just have so many weeds, I don't know how to get rid of them. Just Google or search post-emergent herbicide, and then input your grass type. So if you have Bermuda, just put in post-emergent herbicide. That means the weeds are already grown. You can see the weeds, and then it will kill those weeds within your grass. So there's chemicals that you can spray on your lawn that will kill weeds and not kill your Bermuda. There's chemicals that you can spray on your lawn that will kill weeds and not kill your Kentucky bluegrass. Whatever it is, you spray it, the weeds die, your lawn loves it. It's just, once you know a couple things, it's just like, man, taking care of lawns is actually kind of easy.
Very, very happy to have the Lawn Dad. That everybody will know him. He's a celebrity in the golfing world. If you don't believe me, just check out his social media. That we will, of course, have all the links. But TJ Brow, pleasure to have you on and to meet you.
Thanks for having me on, Pete. It's a little bit different. It's always fun coming on podcasts, and especially, I mean, this is a golf podcast, and I think this is the first golf podcast I've been on, so it's cool to make that crossover. So
Well, I think because I was walking the dog today, I ran into my brother. He lives in my community, and he said, "Who do you have coming on today?" I told him who you were. He said, I haven't seen his stuff. I said, "You got to check it out." And he said, well, "He's a golfer." I said, "Well, if he's not, he probably should be." Uh,
I
but
always
I
I
think
always joke. I say I can take care of a golf course better than I can golf, but it's yeah, I golf once in a while.
but especially with Augusta right around the corner in
Hmm.
springtime, and everybody's they see the green and they're in awe. And I think one of the attractions outside of the many that people are drawn to your site is you keep your house lawn that looks like Augusta National.
Yeah.
What was the driving factor for you to take it to that level?
So so my previous life, I was in sales networking. So I was constantly around noise, people, phone calls, and I was working 80 hours a week on the phone. It was just a lot, you know. So to come back home and be on a lawnmower, just kind of and throw some headphones on, it just kind of drowned everything out. So that's where it started. Was just kind of a need to just have an outlet, have a hobby, and then talking to the retired guys in the community and my neighborhood, like, how'd you get your grass so green? Like they would just tell me and, try that. Like, whoa, that worked. That lawn's looking pretty good. Having the old guys walking around with their dogs saying, hey, your lawn's looking nice. That's dopamine right there. So that's kind of where it started. And then, after working so many hours, I don't know why I did it, but I threw a camera in front of what I was doing. And I guess the way that I edited that first, second, third video, I just people just liked it, and so that kind of spiraled the career of being a lawn influencer, personality, whatever you want to call it. I was just kind of just wanting an escape from the noise of sales and marketing and networking and all that stuff, and just kind of do my own thing. And here we are today.
Was there a particular moment that you realized that, hey, I can turn this into something with the advent and the development and growth of social media that I might be onto something here?
Yeah, so a lot of people will post and just be like, "Man, I've been posting for 2 years and finally I'm getting a following and stuff." My second video that I posted went viral. And there's a lot of people who like, "Oh yeah, I had a video go viral." But the thing was is it the videos that I kept on uploading every 3, 4, 5 days, they would get really good views. And I didn't have a ton of followers, but they were starting to get hundreds of thousands of views on each video. It wasn't like just one video went viral and then every other video went, 600 views after that. They just kept on going. And I think I saw the need that people wanted to know how to take care of their lawn, and they were very interested in like, wait, you mean I can like make my lawn look like a golf course? I thought there was golf course grass. Like, no, it's actually just Bermuda. Anybody with Bermuda grass can mow it low and, make it tight
Mhm.
like Augusta National or TPC Sawgrass or something like that. Now, obviously, there's levels to that obsession and passion, but yeah, once I figured that out and just people just were hungry for good lawn content, it just I think it took about 6 months, and I was like, I think we can do this. So ended up going full time November of 2023.
Oh, that's awesome that
Yeah.
you could do something that you enjoy so much, and it's your responsibility. You got to do it. Like, if you get sick or
Hmm.
you God forbid you break an ankle or something and you can't do it. Now, I mean, that's your livelihood now. That kind of sucks. You don't have a guarantee, but it's still awesome. You get to get up every day and say, what do I want to do today that I think is pretty interesting? I mean, that's you're the envy of a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just you get to take care of your grass for a living. It's just wild. You don't have to take care of a golf course or somebody else. It's your own lawn if it looks good and you get paid to do it. So
Yeah,
it's full high.
and the number of superintendents I've met over the years in the I've been in golf music. I started caddying when I was 12, I think. So known a lot of superintendents, and the one thing that they usually can't stand dealing with is the greens committee.
Hmm.
And I guess you have a greens committee of you. I mean, maybe your missus or your family might say,
Yep.
"Hey, how about doing this, Dad? Or can you do this?" But
Yep.
it
The way whenever I throw sand or something like that on the grass, like, man, it was looking so good. Why'd you do that? Like, dude, just give it like 2 weeks. Come on. Come on.
you got to calm them down just the same you
Just
would a
calm
greens committee.
down. Yeah. The front lawn's run out of 14. So just chill, man.
You're a golfer.
Yep.
But you didn't come from the agronomy industry. Did the golf industry have an influence on what you did, or you'd see it on TV and be impressed, or the striping and as you mentioned TPCs this week, and you got Augusta
Hmm.
coming up. Did that have an inspiration on you to do something like this and to create? You could see what could be done, and then you took it to another level.
Yeah, I think I grew up golfing in high school. I don't know. You said you kind of grew up around the Michigan area. So I
Yeah,
worked at Shepherd's Hollow Golf Course
I know exactly what it
for,
is.
yeah, for 3 years. So it's 27 holes, beautiful course. So I grew up playing there every single day. It's a great course to be able to play at every single
Hmm.
day. So that's where the golfing career, started. I got down to a 7 handicap in high school. So that was fun just to be able to golf every single day. So that's kind of where the golfing passion started. My dad still golfs. He golfs 100 plus rounds a year. So he got me into it. But yeah, being able to see like Augusta National on TV. I've never been to Augusta National, but seeing it on TV is inspiring. A lot of people, it's inspiring the stories of the golfers, the Tiger Woods making putt. It's just like you have that story. For me, I would see the azaleas, I would see the green, I would see, TPC Sawgrass. They've got their tee boxes all striped perfectly on like to me, that is also the exciting part is not just the stories of the golfers and, Brooks Koepka coming like that type of storyline. Mine is the agronomy storyline. The greens are looking fabulous. The tee boxes are looking fabulous. So that interest was there, that I would notice those things. So that passion started, from the golf, watching golf, playing golf to being like, man, how did they get the putting greens this perfect? How do they get the fairways this perfect? Starting to learn about that, research that. I'm a big research guy. So just looking into it and just being like, I think I can do this. Once you make that connection, like I can make my lawn look like a golf course. So yeah, that's where golf and taking care of my front lawn like Augusta National sort of, intertwines.
What was you're self-taught more or less? I'm
Hmm.
assuming trial and error, research. Great to have the internet nowadays.
Yeah.
It helps
YouTube
with
University.
you always say that I'm gonna get a master's from YouTube.
I got a master's, PhD, all that stuff.
What was the first mistake you made that taught you something really important?
Oof. I would say over applying fertilizers. So that was just, you're always told like, oh, you got to apply fertilizer. Like how much? I don't know. So I would just kind of like throw it in there and just like make it rain, have fertilizer pellets all over the place. And what that does is it actually burns your grass. So you have to learn to calculate your square footage. So some people would just be like, oh, I just set it on spreader setting 11 just like went. Well, you could be under applying or over applying. So learning how to calculate how many square feet I have on my turf and then using math, which is crazy, using math to figure out how much fertilizer your lawn actually needs. Over applying fertilizer is what, a lot of, or under applying fertilizer is what a lot of new people end up making the mistake is like, man, my lawn just isn't greening up. Well, how much fertilizer are you putting on? I'm just setting it on this setting and calling it good. Well, you're actually underfeeding your lawn or you're overfeeding your lawn. So I think that was probably the biggest mistake was I thought that I actually killed my grass. It started turning brown in the height of the summer. I'm like, what is going on? This is Bermuda. It's supposed to be growing, but
Mhm.
I just burned it. That's really it. It comes back.
And, how did you get it back? Did you just was that the thing that made you take the steps to start learning about, "Okay, I gotta figure something out here.
Yep. Yeah. I learned
I'm missing
why.
something." Yeah,
It's the
why?
why. Yeah. So learn it. That's part of just learning anything is well, okay, it did this. Why did it do this? And then start figuring out how do I search that in YouTube or whatever. Then you start learning fertilizer burn is a thing. And to fix that is honestly just time, water, and mowing. That's really it. And some well timed rains. That's about it. So it'll grow out of it. You can never, especially Bermuda, you can't kill it. There's
Yeah,
just it'll grow on concrete. You can't kill it. So Bermuda was definitely a great grass to start on kind of in this line was you can do almost anything to Bermuda. It's not going to die. It
mhm.
might ding it. It might damage it a little bit, but she's coming back. Don't worry.
Yeah, I noticed on the, some of the bags, of thing, that I put out, whether it's pre-emergent I just put out last week or it's
Nice.
fertilizer throughout the, early spring and summer and so on, that, if you look at the bottom right corner usually of the bag, it might be other places, but the bags I tend to use, it's in the lower right, it'll say, "Hey, here's what you need to put on, and here's your how big's your yard, square feet or square yards, and here's the application." And some of them will even say, "Here's the setting. If you have a hand spreader, set it on 3, or if you have
Hmm.
the typical Scotch, the walk behind green spreader, set it on, 10 or whatever it is." But
Yeah.
they kinda give you all the instructions you need if you just follow it. I don't think most people, I think, just kinda like to cut corners, and then they see a channel like yours and they go, "Wow, I'm falling way short of what I
Sure.
could be doing,"
Well, Pete, you're a guy, right? I mean,
as far as I
when,
know.
yeah, as far as I know it's 2026, so who knows? But when was the last time you read instructions, right? As dudes, we kind of just, we
I
don't
can
really
figure it
read.
out.
You can figure it out. It's fertilizer. It can't be that bad. I always tell just follow bag instructions. Whether that's you're applying literally anything on your lawn, just take a peek at instructions. If you can't figure it out, ask ChatGPT. It's usually right about instructions, but yeah, if you can't figure something out, that's the internet. Yeah, when it comes to fertilizers or chemicals or anything like that, always just follow bag instructions. It's wild what information it'll tell you because it'll be correct
Yeah, no
100% of the
kidding.
time.
So it's like listening to your mom and dad when you're a kid. I mean, how many times do you screw up and you're like, "God," and then you do the one time you do listen, it worked, like, "Oh, man, I don't want them to know
Dang.
that I actually
Shit.
did listen."
Yeah. So if you just follow bag instructions, it's wild how much better your lawn will probably look.
Your social media, obviously, very impressive. You could basically probably teach classes on that if you wanted to. You could start another channel on how to grow social media channels. But was there something that you mentioned you for one day just for the hell of it, you videoed yourself, but was there something that was inspiration to make a social media channel outside of just when you got going, that kind of the growth of the channels were going at the same time?
I think the one thing that I learned about growth was kind of what people liked. I could post a video and sort of know that it'll probably do well or it probably won't. And the way that I would be able to tell is if it was informational or documenting. There's like two different like spreads you'll see on my channel. One is a documenting to where you're just literally watching me mow and I'm not talking. There's really no words popping up on the screen. It's just kind of documenting. And then you also have like the learning part of it. I do about 70% documenting and about 30%, I guess, teaching or instructing or whatever. That 30% is going to get a lot lower views than documenting. So my growth was kind of dependent on fascinating, entertaining, documenting my journey through lawn care rather than teaching. Anytime a channel is strictly teaching in the lawn care space, there's a lot of confusing terms. There's a lot of confusing things about chemicals, fertilizers, grass types, you get lost in the information. So much information. People just turn off. In a world of doom scrolling, people just turn off. But if you can have content that people stop and be like, take take a breath, oh, geez, this is just fascinating. Wow, this guy, oh my goodness, this guy's lawn looks amazing. You stop that scroll, that's where the followers sort of boost. So I learned that early on as people in this day and age love the documenting part as opposed to just straight up information because they can't digest it.
Do you
It's
think
not
that
a 45-second digestible reel.
do you think the documenting part is almost without saying step 1, step 2, step 3 that they can kind of follow along? It's like, where you show that whatever application you're using, and then you show
Mhm,
what you're using to put it down, and then you're showing the next. It's like a step-by-step process without saying, "Hey, guys, here's step 1." Here's, it's
mhm,
they're, you're and they can follow it very easily. You do a great job with that.
mhm.
Do you think that has something to do with it, that showing them what to do?
Yeah, and if people learn how I sort of learned is I see that video. If I was a viewer watching that video, I would see it and then research more about it. So me personally, as the lawn dad, I'm sort of showing these things, documenting these things, and I guess spurring people to go to YouTube and research that. Now, some people won't, and some people I get hundreds of questions, especially during the lawn season, about how do I make my grass better? Well, such a like do your own research. Almost, it's just so hard to just say this is exactly what you should do. Well, where are you at? What type of grass do you have? It's again lost in the weeds. So yeah, those documenting type videos sort of are poised to just be like, you see this, you want your lawn to look like this, you can do some research. I can get it here, do some research on it. I'll show you kind of what I'm up to because I am documenting my process. But it's kind of on you to be like,
Yeah, it's like,
let's
here's the general steps you need to take. Now, if you need particular to your lawn, if you got centipede or if you have rye or
mhm,
whatever it is, you're going to have to adjust. But here's some simple things to get you started. And I think that's where a lot of people are, as you said, especially as guys, because not to be chauvinistic, but it's usually the guys that are taking care of the lawn for many reasons. Like you said, you like to get out there and it's just peace and quiet after
yeah,
days or a week worth of work. Everybody, if they can just get going, because they want to do it on their own, but they need some direction sometimes. There has to be some structure. And I think
yeah.
that provides
Where
it.
do
And
you
as you
start?
said, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like once they get some structure and they get going, you get that dopamine hit like, oh, wow, you accomplish something and then it looks good in a week or two. And then you're like, okay, let me take the next step.
yeah.
Very, very interesting that the simplicity of what you're doing is making people go to the complexity.
Keep it simple. I tell you what, the best dopamine is the UPS driver coming up and saying, "Dude, your lawn's looking good, man," because he sees how many lawns per day
Yeah.
and week and all that stuff. And when the UPS or the delivery driver comes and says, "You got a nice lawn," dude, you've reached a whole new level of lawn dad right there.
Have any companies reached out to you about sponsorships, or they want you to promote products and pay you a ton of money
Yeah.
and things like that? And I haven't seen you promote any, and I might have missed it, but how do you navigate that? Someday I hope to be in that position. And I talk to people about it. There's some friends that I know have some fairly large podcasts, and they have refused sponsorships. That they're making their money and supporting the show off of products they sell: t-shirts, hats, cups,
Mhm.
mugs, all those things. But they don't want to be influenced by a sponsor telling them, well, we want you to do this show or we want you to post this video. So as someone at your level of success that is having those people come to you, how do you navigate that dynamic?
That's a great question. So it's tough and it's something that I actually like when you become a creator in the short form space, YouTube, podcasting space, there is like a fork in the road. Do you go down that space or do you not? So I chose to, promote products and accept ads, paid advertisements. And my channel, if you start looking at my channel, you'll see little ad tags, ad stickers saying this is an ad. And because it's my full-time job, that's just a choice that am made, but with a caveat. I will only promote a product or use a product if I A, already use it, or two, could see myself using it, or three, would help out a part of my audience. I have a pretty detailed, I guess, audience. The person when I'm making a video, I already kind of know who they are. If I can see that product helping that audience, I'm going to promote it. If I already use it, I'm going to promote it. Or if I could see that product making my life easier, making my lawn better, making my dad life a little bit easier, I'm going to also do it. So Yeah, I mean, I had to hire a manager. So anytime somebody emails my email, it actually gets sifted through my manager first because it is, hey, we're such and such company. We want you to promote this product. What are your rates? How much do you charge? All that stuff. So at that point, my manager takes over and does all the negotiating.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's something that it definitely pays the bills. People don't love it. There's people who like, "Oh, you just sold out." Well, that's my paycheck. I
Mhm.
can only provide so much free information before my steam runs out. This is
Exactly, yeah,
actually,
yeah.
as you know, like, as a creator in a podcast, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy. And for you to just do it completely for free, it's cool for a year or 2, and then it's just like, "What am I doing this for?" And some people are just wired like that. Some people just, "Hey, I could do this for 5 years, 10 years. I just love doing it," and they do it for completely free. That is so awesome. But for me, if there's no, like, reward other than views, if there's no reward or there's no paycheck or anything coming from it, my steam is gonna run out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
I've gotten to the point that, you're the 200th episode. So when I
Dang.
started, I never ever imagined I'd get this far. I thought I'd be lucky to get past 10.
I'm 200?
You're 200. So
Congratulations, cheers.
thank you. So yeah, it's been quite the journey, and I thought it would have grown bigger just because of the guest list I've had.
Sure.
I've had some pretty big names in the golf space. It hasn't. I talked to a few people in the industry, and they said, "Look, that's your biggest challenge because the feedback has been great. The
Mhm.
ratings have been fairly. I mean, one or two here or there that says you talk too much. You do. I'm like, I've never talked more
It's
than
a
3 minutes in one
podcast.
segment, right? But it's the people I've met, and every time I thought of giving it up twice for the exact reasons that you
Mhm,
say. It's like it takes a lot of time, and you got to edit, and it's like, do you spend time with your family at night and watch a movie, or do
mhm.
you go edit and get prep ready for the next days? And I've made a commitment to post every day, so I hope you
Mhm.
don't mind I tag in, ask you to collaborate with the videos
Absolutely.
this next or when this comes out. But it is a labor of love. But there were two key moments for me that made a huge difference. And if I can tell the story real quick, I'll make them short. But one of them is a friend of mine. He was a martial artist. He's in the World Hall of Fame, been in it his whole life. And then he got in the golf industry about 15 years ago. That's where we met. He just wanted to get away, he'd do something different. And he came on the podcast because we want to talk about how golf and martial arts with patience, and it's a lifelong journey, and everything else is kind of not aligned with society today. Everybody wants it now, and they don't want patience. They don't want to work hard. So anyway, long story short, at around the same time, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk were chatting back and forth. If you might remember, and the listeners
Mhm,
might remember, they were going to do that cage match because
mhm.
Zuckerberg had gotten into jujitsu, and I think Elon is a brown belt or black belt in jujitsu from the time he was a kid. Well, George St. Pierre was training Elon, and George and my buddy Marinus are longtime friends. They know each other from that world. So Marinus gets a call from GSP and says, "Hey, I'm kind of getting into golf, and someone sent me this. I heard you on this podcast, so I thought I'd reach out to you." And they were catching up, and he says, "You had a lot of good things to say. I'm going to connect you with Elon." And he says, "Yeah, okay. Busiest guy in the world is going to call me."
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a couple weeks later, a month or so later, but he's getting these messages, and he's like, "Yeah, how do I know this is Elon Musk?" And he gets was it a WhatsApp or WhatsApp app? Or
Yeah.
he
WhatsApp,
says,
yeah.
Marinosuke said, "Yeah." He said, "This is Elon Musk." So I'm like, "Wait a second." So indirectly, you got connected to Elon Musk because you came on the show. He's like, "Yeah, basically."
Jeez.
Now he might call me when he hears this and say that's not quite how it went, but
Yeah.
at
I'm gonna
least
need you
from
to
what I
sign a
remember,
couple
yeah.
things, but
And then another one, Chip Usher's a club fitter and builder in Savannah, Georgia. Usher Golf, he does great work, and he came on because he's the only Mura rep, one of them in the country, at least, and the only one in the Southeast that I know of. And after he was on, I think Srixon called him and said, "Hey, we heard you. We know who you are. We'd like you to carry our stuff." So those stories like that, when people call me and tell me, "Hey, this really worked out well," makes me feel a lot better. And I'm like, "Well, I can't give up
absolutely.
now. It's doing good things for people,
Yeah.
and hopefully it helps them in their life." I mean, that's our tagline: improve your game in your life. Like,
Mhm.
this is going to probably improve somebody's life. Their husband or wife or whoever, is going to say, "Wow, the yard looks great."
Yeah.
It's just going to make it that much better. So
Sure.
that's why I keep doing it.
That's great, and yeah, it's just and I always say you're one video, you're one podcast, you're one piece of creation away from your next big break. I'm actually this Monday, I guess when this podcast comes out, I'll probably either be there, have already gone, but I got invited by the Home Depot to go to a very small fireside chat with some of the highest people in Home
Wow,
Depot. Like,
that's awesome.
come on, this dude that just posted a random video, like, it's just I don't know, it's wild where this has taken me, and the opportunities that come, just like you said, you never know which video or which podcast or which episode is just kind of like your next thing. And people always message me, hey, I'm thinking about getting into kind of like the social media game or posting videos. I'm like, do it. Just do it. Don't polish it. Just put content out there,
Hmm.
because I mean, look, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm just a dude who mows his lawn and everybody mows their lawn. It's wild.
Yeah, and I think just the way you have done it and started it, just so simple. You've found something that you enjoy doing, and
Mhm.
you say, "Well, hell, let me just video this for the hell of it and see what happens." And next thing you
Just
know,
do it.
kapow! Takes off. It could
Crazy.
be that simple for a lot of people. I think
Yeah.
too many people get bogged down. It's got to be perfect. The lights got to be right. It's like, no, just have good audio, good video quality.
Mhm.
Good meaning you can use your phone and just put stuff out there.
Genuine. Just be
Yeah,
genuine.
genuine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just be genuine, just be yourself. People wanna see other people's lives, which is crazy in this world. It's like everybody's stressed out and they just wanna watch other people's lives. It's just that's all the internet is. It's just everybody watching everybody else live. It's just, my side of the internet is just mowing the lawn and people like watching it.
What surprised you most about the lawn care community on social media?
How passionate they are. Holy cow, I can even down to what brand of mower that I use or like to use or show, or even shoot, if I put there's two things that cause a heated debate. Is one is that the fact that I use battery powered equipment. People are so against, like, it is gas or die. It's like,
My God,
dude,
that's
it's
crazy.
especially, because I do work alongside Home Depot. I actually got that through, I work with Ryobi, and t even people down to that small of a niche of they hate Ryobi. Like, again, it's crazy what people latch on to and just be like, "You're the worst ever because you use a certain
My
brand and
God.
you use battery." But then also, if I post a video about a robot mower,
Yes, I
so
saw
pe
a couple of those. Yeah.
so dude, people hate robot mowers because it's like, well, are you going to stop mowing your lawn? Like, no, I'm not going to stop mowing my lawn. But again, it's one of those three things where part of my audience are older, or they don't do lawn care full time. They actually work 5 days a week. They work from 9 to 7. They don't have the time to mow their lawn 3 times a week. I tell you what, a robot mower would make your life a million times easier. But there's people who's just like, "No, you have to mow your lawn." Well, then it's not for you. There's people who would actually greatly benefit from a robot mower, and the technology is getting so much better that, like, truthfully, if you had a robot mower, your lawn would look way better than what it does now. So,
Yeah. I had mentioned to you, I had Dr. Trey Rogers. He's the
mhm,
head agronomist at Michigan State. And he's a little tied up now because the World Cup's coming up, and he's in charge of
yeah,
all the lawn that they're putting together for I think eight sites in the U.S.
what a job.
Yeah, it's amazing. After the World Cup, I'll reach out to him and try to connect you guys because I'm sure he'd love to meet you and talk to you. But he was the first one that told me about the robotic mowing on golf courses and around East Lansing and Lansing. There were a couple courses, I can't remember the names, but they were like some of the first to try it, and I thought it was crazy. And I said, well, I could imagine if you get the GPS setting wrong in the first one, it was just mowing down your rough. And so I
You got
said, I'm sure,
fairways going into the
yes,
woods.
I'm sure that didn't go over well if that happened, but I was very surprised at a couple of things he said. One was that they used it to mow the rough, and I said, "Well, that couldn't have been good." And he goes, "No, because as you mow it, shorten the height, the blade gets wider, so the ball sits up better." And the older membership loved it, so they were all for it. They're like, "You're spending all these thousands of dollars on these mowers. Why is it going to just wait?" And then, sure enough, it came along. And the other one was what you just mentioned. He said the average person doesn't mow their lawn enough. They might mow it every other week. He said 3 times a week
Mhm.
is and what you just said 3 times a week if you can do it. And if you can't, obviously the Roomba or Zumba or whatever that they're commonly called that vacuums your house, get one of them for your yard. It might just be that little thing that you need to make your life that much easier.
Yeah, and that's so true. I mean, that's one of the 3 pillars of kinda like making your lawn better is feed it, water it, and mow it. It might seem like, "Oh, just oh, of course I mow it." Well, you should actually like, to keep your grass healthy, you should keep depending on what grass type it is, there is a certain level that you should keep it at or under, but you should be mowing at the very least every 5 days. And that's just to keep it healthy. You don't wanna cut off too much. It is a plant. It's whether you see grass as a plant or not, it's a plant. It's a living there's billions of living things in your lawn, and if you cut too much off of it, it's not gonna like it. It's not gonna look as good. So you should be at the very least cutting every 5 days, and some people can't do that, and that's totally fine. Some people don't care, and that's totally fine. So for the robot mowers, I think on the golf course setting, you know, you're not paying guys to mess up your mowers and
Hmm.
say it's just a robot. It just works. Same with your lawn. It's a robot and it just works for you while you're at work. You know
What are the biggest myths people believe about lawn care?
that it's hard. I mean, it's just a lot. It's just like, oh, I just have no idea where to start. And it's almost like this overwhelming thought that they have when they look out at their lawn. It's just like, it just doesn't look good. Like I have no idea where to start. Start mowing it, start feeding it, and give it some water. That's honestly, like, truthfully, if you just mow it consistently, feed it consistently according to label instructions,
Hmm.
and water it, a good amount, including rainfall, about an inch per week, and if you don't know how to calculate how much rain or water you have, put a little rain gauge out, out on your deck or something like that, and if you get an inch, well, you don't need to water. If you didn't get an inch, well, you turn on your sprinklers for a while. It's just it's really that easy, and then for getting rid of weeds, that's another big thing is, like, I just have so many weeds, I don't know how to get rid of them. Just Google or search post-emergent herbicide and then input your grass type. So if you have Bermuda, just put in post-emergent herbicide. That means the weeds are already grown, you can see the weeds, and then it will kill those weeds within your grass. So there's chemicals that you can spray on your lawn that will kill weeds and not kill your Bermuda. There's chemicals that you can spray on your lawn that will kill weeds and not kill your Kentucky bluegrass. Whatever it is you spray it, the weeds die, your lawn loves it. It's just once you know a couple things, it's just like, man, taking care of lawns is actually kind of easy.
Yeah, it's not as hard as you thought it was.
It's not as hard as people just I don't know, it's just the unknown. People just are kind of just scared of like, I just don't know how to take care of grass. Well, it's not you're not rewiring a house, you know, you're not inventing anything. It's just there's plenty of information out there just to kind of figure out those base things, and it's actually pretty easy.
Yeah, it becomes your lawn for many people, and you're a prime example, becomes like your art piece of artwork that you can broadcast to the world. It's like,
Sure,
hey, here's my paintbrushes, my lawnmower, and then fertilizer and everything else. And I guess the fertilizer would be the paints, and you're like, look, here's what I've done, and you get to be proud of that. There's a
sure,
lot of most people, I think that deep down human nature that everyone likes to feel proud of the work that they
sure.
put in.
And it's a reflection of kind of what's maybe not on the inside. I mean, because our my lawn looks perfect, and we've got 3 young kids, and the inside of our house looks like a complete disaster. So I'm not going to say that it's not a complete reflection of what's on the inside of the house, but maybe it's on the inside of you. Maybe you can get a little bit deeper with lawn care, but maybe it's just your passion is just you love golf and you love Augusta National. It's like, dude, deep down, I would love my lawn to look like that. Well, it's actually easier than you think. The lawn is an expression of maybe what's deep down inside you, maybe what's how you enjoy keeping things nice and tidy. It's just your lawn's kind of a reflection of that. So, and some people don't care. Totally fine. Just posting any video online, people just give me crap. Like, I don't care about my lawn. Cool. I don't. That's good for. I don't. That's great.
It's great. You got more time to do other things. Best
That's
of luck to
you
you.
get more time to golf. I love that for you. It's so great. And people be like, "Oh, you'd hate to see my lawn." Like, I don't care. It's just that's you, and that's the time that you have, and you put your energy towards other things. That's totally fine. I just know how I like my grass taken care of, and it looks really nice.
Yes, it does. There's no doubt about that. You've got, I think one of your videos I saw 46, almost 46.5 million views. That's unbelievable.
It is. It's great, and it's just of me just taking care of my lawn. It's like, yeah. that video is wild. So that one, Golf Digest shared, and actually is a funny story about golf. This is Golf Podcast, so it's perfect. So I posted that video, and then all of a sudden my dad sends me a link to Golf Digest like video, and it was the video that I had posted, but it was super low quality, like really gross. I'm like, like, where'd they get this video? So then whenever Golf Digest posts a video, and there's a couple of other golf short form platforms that post it as well. But when you scroll down, they usually tag the creator and they say, stolen from or taken from or uploaded from.
Yeah, they'll put like the camera or the video
Yep.
symbol, and then they'll put the tag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll give credit to who credit's due. So I'm watching my video with crappy quality. Like somebody ripped that video, put it up onto Reddit, and then uploaded it to like Reddit, / satisfying. So like it made kind of like top of Reddit satisfying videos or whatever that week. And Golf Digest tagged the Reddit poster, which is just like
God.
a spam account. Like if you look at their Reddit account, it's just like them uploading videos that they've stolen from TikTok or whatever. So that's who they credit is Golf Digest, the biggest like golf account from my childhood. I used to get the magazines and all that stuff. Posted my video, but didn't give me any credit. So actually is super funny. So somehow I got on LinkedIn, or I Googled like head content director, Golf Digest, something like that. And some dude's profile on LinkedIn popped up. So I went on LinkedIn, I messaged him and said like, hey, long shot, I don't know if you're responsible for posting or whatever, but like you guys posted my video, terrible quality, but also like you didn't like that's my video. So thankfully, like within 10 minutes, the guy responded back like, oh dude, I'm so sorry. Totally cool. I'm going to switch it. He switched it. It was all good, but the quality was still low. So you're allowed to like take videos down. Like I just didn't love the quality. So I actually took the video down, and then I got a call from like the head marketing person from Golf Digest apologizing for like posting the video in a bad quality, and then also like not giving credit to who credit was due. So he's like, dude, I owe you one. So to this day, Golf Digest owes me one.
Mm.
So he's like, if you ever have a video that you want posted, or like a golf lit, and you want us to like be exclusive posters of it or something like that, or collab, he's like, let us know. So I'm gonna keep that one in the back seat until I want to
God,
collab
that's
with
awesome.
Golf Digest. So crazy
That-
story on the internet, but yeah, that's that video. I mean, it had celebrities liking it. It has like 1.1 million likes on it, and it's just every year creator, you do get highlight notifications, meaning if somebody really big likes it or comments, you get notified. I mean, Matt Damon, who's like a center fielder for the Boston Red Sox and the Detroit Tigers, he liked it. I don't know if your girlfriend likes Love is Blind, but who are the hosts of Love is Blind?
I got no clue.
No clue. Anyways, the wife liked it, and my wife was like, so like, oh my goodness, she liked your video. So like, it's just the names that pop up. Like, dude, some rapper, some girl, not Cardi B, but like another one liked it. It's just whenever you have a video just go that insanely viral, it's just like, honestly, the most entertaining part is seeing the comments, but then two, like, all right, who's gonna like this?
That is pretty cool. I don't know. Do you know who Scott Fawcett is? He has the decade system. I mean, if Scott, if you hear this, don't get me on me too hard, but it's like a course management system. How to manage yourself through a round of golf using mathematics.
Okay.
A lot of people in the golf space know who he is, but he's gotten very popular. His program is, in my opinion, is very good. He's been on the show a couple of times, but he posted the other day along this same topic that Steph Curry just started following him. So, and he had to post. He said, "Man, this is. I mean, and he's helping a lot of people on the PGA Tour, LPGA, all over the world, pro golf, college golf. I think college golf brings him in. NCAA brings him in, if I'm not mistaken. At least a number of teams bring him in to consult with their teams. So it's not like he's immune or not used to rubbing shoulders with big name people, but when Steph Curry, someone outside of the golf is starting to follow him, he's like, man, this is really cool.
Yeah, it's like alarming. Like, whoa, it just brings a certain like level of like, dang, I gotta like post good things now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Couple of guys on Dude Perfect follow me or followed me or whatever, but it's just wild. Just I don't know. It's just social media, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's definitely changed. It's not changing.
Hmm.
It's changed the world. A
For
lot of
sure.
instances, and there's some bad, but there's also a lot of good. You're a prime example of it, and a lot of others out there. It's doing a lot of good things for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. Gets a lot of information out quickly and just allows people just to share
Hmm.
their products, their information, just their knowledge, and people find it fascinating. So,
What has been the most common problem homeowners reach out to you about?
oh, weeds. I would say like, weeds is like I just have a lawn full of weeds. What do I do? Another thing is I can't get grass to grow here. What do I do? And in that second instance of I can't get grass to grow here, well, especially in the South, if you have a lot of shade or if you
Mhm.
have a lot of water gathering, grass hates it. Bermuda needs like 6+ hours of sun. If you have like Bermuda along the side of, let's just say like a woods line or something like that, a lot of people are like, man, I tried seeding it, I tried putting sod there, but like it just never lasts. Well, you just don't have a lot of sun hitting it. Or they'll say like, I've just had this area that just doesn't ever grow. Well, where are your gutters pointing to? Do you have a lot of water runoff? When it rains, does it puddle there? If it does, it's not going to grow. So you need to figure out how to divert the water or figure out how to take care of the shade. Trim up the woods line, trim up that tree that's in your front yard, maybe limit up just a little bit higher so that, sun can get down to the base of the tree, or just make your tree ring a little bit wider, make your beds a little bit bigger. It's okay. It's okay to delete grass. I know I'm the lawn dad, but it's okay to make your beds a little bit bigger just because you can't get something to grow there. But that's a big thing, is especially in the South, is why is this not growing here? Well, it's probably shade or water, and then weeds.
This question might be getting in a little scientific and beyond just the basics, but what role does soil health play in lawn success?
Oh, big time.
And I bring that. I was unaware of it, but I in our community, I was head of the landscape committee for, and there's a
Nice.
local supplier, fertilizers, all that stuff. And so I had them come in periodically, usually once a quarter, and they'll do a hour long class on, hey, here's what you need for this time of year. South Carolina, you've been here the uh, different times of year. I mean, obviously winter's shorter and summer
Mhm.
and warm weather longer. But the first class I did was to do a soil test. So just take a garden trowel and pull up. You need a cup, and if you got a bigger yard, do it in 4, 5, 6 different areas. Bring it in, and we'll send it off and test it. And I was very surprised, just basically like doing a blood test for yourself and finding out what you're deficient in, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, etc. And then you take those things and you feel better. You can do the same for your lawn.
Mhm.
So can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit with what you've learned?
Yeah. So I think soil testing makes sense of what you're being told. And so I was kind of saying like people do their own research and do all this stuff. They'll eventually come across soil testing. When you do a soil test, it tells you your pH, and it also tells you kind of like the micronutrients that you're deficient in your soil. If your grass looks good, your soil is fine. But if you're struggling somewhere and you get a soil test, it helps show you, I guess, data wise what you're low in. And then when you're looking at fertilizer bags, you see those three numbers on the fertilizer. You see that first number being nitrogen, and then the middle number being phosphorus, and then that last number being potassium. It makes sense when you look at those fertilizer bags now because, hey, my grass is low or my soil is low in potassium. So you look for fertilizers that maybe have a higher number on that middle number. So for me, soil testing, it helps you make sense of why your grass is kind of struggling a little bit, but it also helps you learn what fertilizer that your grass or soil will like better, what you can choose. So instead of just blindly going to Home Depot and saying like, I'm just going to get a bag of fertilizer, don't really know which one. If you have a soil test, now you have a little bit more information to go to the store and be like, actually, I need this fertilizer because it will treat my soil a little bit better than what I have been putting on. And then the biggest one too is pH. So if your pH is too low or too high, it uptakes nutrients a lot, not as good. So if your pH is really, really low, it's just not going to uptake those nutrients that you're putting down, the fertilizers that you're putting down. Your grass isn't going to respond to it as good. If it's too high, it's not going to respond to it as good. So keeping your pH at a good level, it will uptake the nutrients. So when you put down that nitrogen, it will like it better. It'll turn more green. It'll grow a little bit better. Well, that's just soil testing is just if you have no idea where to start, you can start there just to understand what's going on, help you understand the process a little bit better and maybe make sense a little bit more of what you're putting down.
Yeah, and I equate it going through, number of years ago, I had some health issues and going through the blood work and figure they're like, "Oh, you're really deficient in this, and you need
Hmm.
this and this and this," and it's like, when I did that soil test, I'm like, "This is almost like the same thing for your
Hmm.
yard." It's not, I mean, it's science, but it's not very difficult that you do these simple things. I think it was like $35 to
Hmm.
have this soil sent off and tested, and it's well worth it. I mean, 35
Sure.
bucks to get your lawn looking the way you want it to.
Hmm.
Instead, I mean, or else here's your other option. You continue to go to buy fertilizer and, "Oh, I threw this one on. Nope, that wasn't right. I threw this one on. Oh, geez, I burned it out," or I threw, hey, it's you're gonna spend at least that much on
It's a lot
different
more
fertilizers.
expensive. It's a
Yes,
lot more expensive to guess.
and how much time do you lose? You could lose a whole
Yep.
season.
Yep.
So, just to do it the simple right way, $35, I don't think is gonna break anybody's bank. I hope
Yeah.
not if they got a yard.
Yeah. And the easiest way, I mean, there's so for me locally, Michigan State, you can send in your soil to Michigan State. In the South there, I would send it to Clemson. So the most reliable ones are going to be like your university extensions. There are some online ones like My Soil. They use different testing methods that, again, people are passionate in this industry, in the lawn care. They always argue that it's not correct. I mean, what whatever. Again, it's just showing you kind of what your soil is deficient in, so it doesn't have to be perfectly exact. It just helps you understand it better,
You know,
just like a blood test.
during COVID, I think everybody had a garden, and we built one, and, one of the local supply shops, did a soil test for us to see what the garden was deficient in, so I'm assuming that even some of your supplier stores,
Hmm.
your local supply, store is gonna be able to do a test for you if you take the
Yeah,
time to take it up to them.
and that's primarily like the pH. So especially when it comes to plants and landscape, I mean hydrangeas, they'll actually turn colors on low pH or high pH. Azaleas, different types of vegetable gardens, different type of even coming down to that niche is actually some plants prefer a low pH. Some prefer acidic soil. It's just knowing your pH of your soil doesn't just involve your lawn. It also involves, your vegetable garden, your wife's vegetable garden, your plants. Again, grass is a plant just like anything else, and it prefers perfect pH. Other plants prefer acidic soils. So knowing the pH is pretty important, I would say, more so than deficiency in maybe nitrogen or phosphorus. I think your pH being correct is most important, and then the other things. So
Very cool.
yeah,
You had a number of videos on mowing.
yep,
It is a very important technique that how you mow, the direction you mow, and all those things. Can you touch on those things for anyone out there listening?
yeah. So I prefer to use a reel mower, just like golf courses do. I mean, if you want your lawn to look like a golf course, you use what the golf courses use, right? So I use a reel mower, and
And reel is the one that goes. It doesn't go in a circle. It
yep,
goes forward.
goes forward. It has like that weird looking cylinder in the middle, and
Yes.
when you cut it, it spins. So it looks a lot different. People always be like, "Man, what kind of mower is that?" It's like, well, it's a real mower. It's actually what golf courses have been using for the last, I don't know, 150 years, however long they've been using it. But some people just don't know. Again, there's just people who just don't care and like, whoa, I've never seen that, especially on a lawn, especially on a lawn. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, mowing is one of the three pillars of taking care of your grass. Is whether you have a real mower or not. Some people say, "Oh, your grass looks so good because you got thousands of dollars worth of mowers." Quite honestly, I could probably have a really good looking lawn with a Ryobi $600 electric rotary mower that you can buy.
That's what I got.
Exactly, I have a $130 walk behind just simple reel mower that I bought off of Amazon, and I'll mow my grass with that. The equipment is great. The equipment is awesome, and yes, it does help to have a Toro Greensmaster 1600 that, original purchase price was 14,000. Yes, it does. It does make a little bit of a difference. But at the end of the day, if you're just mowing consistently and mowing how the height that your grass enjoys and that you can manage, it doesn't necessarily matter what mower you use. Now a real mower is going to be the one that gets it nice and tight, but you can still have good looking Bermuda at an inch and a half mowed with just a normal rotary mower. Just keep your blades sharp, mow consistently, again, every 5 days, and then change directions, especially with like a grass like Bermuda. It kind of grows sideways. If you grow the same, or if you mow the same direction every single time you mow, you're going to get wheel marks. The grass is also going to start growing in that direction. So if you ever switch directions, you'll actually cut off kind of those runners. You'll cut them off at a different angle than what it's used to, because grass will sort of start growing where it's pushed to. So you always want to switch directions when you're mowing. So those, I mean, just those couple things. It's just, again, it's people just, how do I make my grass better? Just mow consistently. Don't mow every 2 weeks.
No,
It's not great.
yeah, the different directions from what I learned over the years was, you keep, as you said, you don't let the grass lay down one way, and then you cut it
Hmm.
from different directions, and you're getting it's like sharpening a pencil,
Hmm.
you're getting it if the old school way where you used to use a pocket knife and you sharpen your
Yeah,
pencil, you're getting it all the way around, so it comes to a point you're not just cutting the same side all the time.
right. Now that's so Bermuda doesn't stripe as good as like a Kentucky bluegrass or a fescue. You'll see northern grasses like you can stripe it beautifully. But Bermuda, you'll go out there and be like, didn't stripe that good. So with real mowers, we do what's called burning in the stripes. So actually, if you watch on some of my videos and I'll have my Bermuda like popping, the stripes are just absolutely popping. It's because I actually have trained my grass because I mow the same direction. And with a real mower, you can do that. It doesn't have those individual wheels and making wheel ruts. It's got a drum that it goes on. So you can do this. I'll mow my grass the same direction a bunch of times so that it teaches that grass to lay down at a certain direction. So even Bermuda, you can pop. So TPC Sawgrass is doing this right now on their greens and also their tee boxes. They've got like that crisscross pattern going
Right.
because every time they go out there and mow, they mow it the same exact way with their real mowers. So it trains that Bermuda to lay down and cause those stripes. So
I
it's
had
wild.
a, I put out a post the other day. I don't know if it was my personal page or the podcast page that said it had a picture of a closet. It wasn't mine, so everyone thought it was my closet, but it's close. That has it, and it said I have 114 golf shirts, but I wear the same five over and over again. And golfer, I bring this up because golfers are notorious. They either have, and I think every golfer in the world has something similar, whether it's their shirts or their putters or their sets of clubs, drivers, equipment, edges, the whole gamut. Do you ever get to a point where you're like, oh, I just need this mower, and then I just need this one, and pretty soon you got so many mowers, and maybe even your wife comes in and says, hey, maybe back off on the mowers a little bit. Do you get to that point? Is that kind
you're
of your thing?
you're hitting home, man. I've got a 3 car garage and I can only fit 1 car in there and potentially building an outbuilding
I
for
was going to
all
say
these
you're going to need a pole
machines.
barn.
Yeah, that's coming this summer, I think. But yeah, and kind of like what we were talking about earlier is companies reach out and say, "Hey, I want you to try this product. I want you to try this product." Well, part of those people aren't just fertilizer companies, they're machine companies. So I do get a lot of mower companies reaching out and saying, "Hey, we want to send you a mower. We want you to try it out, give us feedback." So I have a lot of feedback mowers and machines. I've got an aerator that hasn't been released yet to the public that is a massive aerator, but it's just companies that send me product and say, "Hey, we want you to test it for 2027 or 2028." But yeah, it's cool until the wife goes, "You have another machine coming?" Like, "Oh geez. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm testing it." It's so but definitely have my favorites. So I've got my go-tos and yeah, just like a shirt, if it just fits good. There's a mower. I've got my Toro Greensmaster 1600 that is a retired golf course mower. It just fits well. It just the way that the engine runs, I just like how it sounds.
Hmm.
I can always keep it sharp. It's just a beautiful mower just to like mow with. And then I've got other mowers that I do marketing with. So I'll use it on my lawn and send those videos to companies so they can run ads on them and stuff. So there's different uses for each mower. And then there's some mowers where I try them and hate them and I'll give them away and tell the company that like That's just not my style. Thanks though. So
Yeah, exactly. Are there products out there that you see or when people message you that they're wasting their money on?
100%. 100%. So on my channel, you'll never see me pushing chemicals, fertilizers, liquid aerators. You own brands of fertilizers, I should say that. You just get the fertilizer that you can afford, that is local to you, that you can get and put on your lawn. The liquid aerators, the soil amendments, the soil purifiers, just all the stuff that these influencers on the learning side of things, so maybe like the YouTube side of things, but if they're saying your lawn needs this and it's something other than fertilizer, it's pretty much, I'm not going to say it's snake oil because yes, your lawn, it's not going to hurt it. It's not going to make it worse. Does it make it better? You'll never know. You'll absolutely never know. So you got these people that like, "Oh, my lawn looks better because I use this product on it." No, it just looks better because it probably has a little bit of nitrogen in it, and your lawn, if you just put a $30 bag of fertilizer that has nitrogen in it, it will look the same thing. It'll look the same way. Now, I'm not going to get in the way of people spending their money, and some people just swear by it like, "Nope, I've used this for the last 5 years and my lawn's never looked better." Dude, I love that for you. That's perfect, and it's just your choice, your hobby, you like to spend money on that, and, like, that's what makes your lawn look good, that's perfect. But these younger, more inexperienced people who don't know how to take care of their lawn, they're being sold all these products saying, like, "You have to use this and your lawn's gonna look good." Well, if you just look at the ingredients, you'll just figure out real quickly that pretty much nitrogen and iron are the 2 things that are gonna make your grass grow better and look green. That's it. Anything else, the boron, the magnesium, you name it, all those micronutrients, it's just kind of snake oil. It's just something that, these companies are making hand over fist money on that just people don't, they're just being sold it. They're just being
Right.
marketed really well. And
Yeah.
that's all they are, just marketing companies. Same with golf. I mean, you guys probably run the same exact thing. It's just spend your money on whatever you want.
Yes.
But that brand isn't going to make you a better golfer. It's just you just probably needed some new clubs, and you would have had that with a I don't know, a ping set versus a Titleist set. I don't know. You get the picture. It's just it's it's
Exactly.
it's all about how you use it.
Yeah. Do the simple thing. Everyone wants it in today's world. They want
Do
to
the
find the
simple thing.
magic thing. Just do the simple thing. That's what we've been talking about so far. Do water it, cut it, make sure it gets sunlight and probably pretty good. Do a
That's it.
soil test, $30. Okay. Now here's what I need. Okay. Wow. That was it. That was a lot easier. Now I can go do other
That's it.
things.
I've even heard people saying online, especially again, very niche community. Same with golf. Like, the past couple of years, I've been trying all this stuff, and honestly, I'm just paring it back, and my lawns never look better. And people can over apply stuff. People can over apply all these micronutrients, be like, "Oh, this person said I need to add this and I need to add worm castings and do all that." Like, just add fertilizer and mow, and like your lawn's probably gonna love it.
I mean,
It's
I
just,
went so simple on my fertilizer. I got Malorganite for
oh
one
yeah,
season.
that stuff is great.
It's from what I was told is from the Milwaukee sewer system. It's basically human waste is what it is.
It's a byproduct of human
Yeah,
waste.
byproduct. There you go.
They'll never say it's not human waste. It's a byproduct
Yeah.
of human waste. Like, okay.
Once you open the bag, you can figure out what it actually
You
is.
can figure out exactly what it is. It's got spotted cow beer written all over it. It's
Yes.
just, that's exactly what it is.
And the other one is chicken manure. I mean,
Yeah,
it's so rich in nutrients for the soil. It's like it's not that hard, people. Keep it simple. Use the KISS rule.
yeah. And again, if you look at the ingredients, I mean, there's no label on chicken manure.
No.
It's just nitrogen. That's all it is. And especially in the South, Bermuda it just loves nitrogen. You almost can't. I'm not going to say that. Never mind. I was gonna say you almost can't put too much nitrogen. You definitely can. I've tried it, but it just loves nitrogen. And if you give it that nitrogen, no matter where it comes from, chicken poop, human poop, like
Mhm.
whatever it is, it's going to love it. It's going to grow. It's going to turn green. And that's again, it's just looking at the label and saying, "Hey, this product that I'm spending $150 on versus this product that's $30, like the ingredients are the same. It's just the label and who's pushing it is different." So
I have a fertilizer that, as I did the soil test, that the guy said, "Hey, here's the one you need." So I'll do that. I wanna say that's every roughly 10 weeks, but at about
Sure.
in between, at about 5 weeks, I'll just throw down some
Yeah.
chicken manure, and to between the 2 of them, it's like, "This is lacking any nutrients."
Yeah.
Then I don't know what it could be, but yeah, that has
Exactly.
really worked well.
Yeah. And it's wild too. I mean, there's now they have polymer coated fertilizers and all that stuff. So yeah, these fertilizers that are coming out are lasting a lot longer than, the classic, you have to fertilize every 3 weeks. Well,
Mhm.
if you buy polymer coated, it actually is a slow release nitrogen, so you can actually get away with 6 to 8 to 10 weeks or whatever. The bag will say, follow the bag instructions, and
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Would there be a list of some must-haves that people need if they're gonna get started? Or if they wanna go to they've started, now they wanna get to a little more advanced level?
I would say, you got the classic, get a lawnmower, but a lawnmower with sharp blades. I'm a big stickler on edges. If your edges don't look good, your lawn isn't done.
Mhm.
So having a nice stick edger is like my second favorite thing, and then obviously a weed eater. I would say next is finding a fertilizer that you like, and then finding a good post emergent that you like. And that post emergent, like I said at the very beginning, you just kind of do a Google search, post emergent, and then you type in the grass type that you have, and then find that and a good backpack sprayer to spray it. Um, Another thing to avoid is the weed and feeds. There's a lot of products again that are kind of like snake oil. It's a weed and feed. It's just a marketing thing. So stay away from the weed and feeds. That's really it. Um, so those kind of like base things. That's honestly, if I just were to start over and be as cheap as possible, lawnmower, edger, weed eater, a good fertilizer, and then a post emergent that I could spray weeds out. I could have a lawn that arguably win HOA lawn of the month every single month.
What was there any piece of equipment that really changed your lawn and how you did things?
I would say the real mower. I would say that's when I went from kind of just a dad mowing his lawn to like this is a hobby now. The real mower kinda changed everything because I could go from that inch and a half down to, like, 3/4 an inch, and that really heightened kinda, like, that passion of the hobby of lawn care. Real mower was kinda like that nerdy next step.
You could tell the difference.
Yeah, and that's when the compliments started to come because the grass started growing a lot tighter. It was just cut a lot cleaner. Just the way that they cut, it cuts like scissors as opposed to like a Japanese like sword. A rotary mower will kind of like chop at the grass, and if you look microscopically, it's actually kind of tearing it. So the edge of the grass blade kind of like looks like this. Whereas if you use a real mower, it cuts it like scissors, and it's like perfect scissor cuts, so it's much healthier for the grass. And you can, especially when you kind of take that leap, you'll notice pretty much the first 2 or 3 cuts, you'll be like, "Dude, my grass looks way better." So that was a huge next step was kind of having that real mower was that was the biggest thing.
Yeah, makes sense. It's interesting that, you could look at old pictures and, grandma or grandpa out there and that push and it's got that same mower type. It might
Mhm.
not have been set as low and maybe they couldn't get it as sharp back then, but
Mhm.
that's how they used to cut lawns 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah, I'll get comments saying like, "Oh, I remember my grandpa used to cut the lawn with a mower like this, oh, good times, I miss him," type thing. And I'll see comments like that, and that's how mowers were. It just was a old type real mower that just ran on gas, and they looked very, very unsafe.
As a golfer yourself, and you have an understanding how golfers can obsess over their swing,
Mhm.
do you see the same obsession in homeowners obsessing over their lawns?
But yeah. So again, it's a niche just like any other thing. If you go into these Facebook groups, just like a golfing Facebook group, you get people at like microscopically taking pictures and being like, "What's wrong with my grass?" And it's like, dude, you'll see like zoomed up, almost like a microscope picture of their grass, and like there's little black spots on it, and people will be like arguing in the comments what it is. And like, oh, that's a fungus. No, it's not. It's a spring dead spot. Like it's just like arguing also. So yeah, there's definitely a passion when it comes to kind of like that heightened lawn care type thing. It's just like once you start figuring it out. So same with a golf swing, but the classic like, oh, I totally figured out my golf swing, and then the next swing you duck hook it left into the woods. Same thing, your grass, you got it dialed in, it looks perfect, and then like all of a sudden it's like, what is this brown spot doing right here? like, what is this? What's going on right here? And you hyper focus. You can't look at the whole broad spectrum and be like, it looks so good as a whole. Now I focus. No, it's like you're only focused on like this little tiny spot on your 10,000 square foot grass. That's like, what is going on right here? Is this, should I be worried about this? Should I be doing this? So it's just like any other passion. It's just, you can go as far as not far as you want with it.
Now, you were in the South, and I'm down in South Carolina. Now you're back up in Michigan, and you had touched on the different types of grasses, Bermuda, rye, blue. Can you just touch on, for maybe somebody who lives in a different part of the country, that the regional differences that some people have to pay attention to, even if you might not have lived there, but you've done enough reading and research and study that you can give some general
Yeah.
counsel as to what people need to pay attention to, maybe more in their area versus where you were.
Yeah. So, very basically, actually, this is another question. Maybe the third most question is what type of grass should I have? So, kind of starting there, there's three separate growing zones if you want to group them all together. So, three separate growing zones. There's a southern, which is going to be like your Texas, Louisiana, Florida. Those are all going to be like southern grasses. Bermuda, zoysia, St. Augustine, a little bit of centipede. Centipede's going away. It's just there's just better grass types. So you have kind of like that southern climate where northern grasses like fescue, Kentucky blue, they will not grow because it gets too hot for them.
Hmm.
They don't love the sun. They like a little bit of sun, but like not the hot sun that Texas gets, And Bermuda almost doesn't love it. Uh, so you have like the southern growing zone. Then you have a transition zone, which that's where I was in Greenville, South Carolina. But it kind of it goes across like the middle of the United States. That transition zone technically is the worst zone because you can sort of grow everything, but not everything is the best. So, what I mean by that is Bermuda thrives there in the summer, but in the winter it turns brown, right?
Hmm.
It goes dormant. People don't love that. So, they will overseed it with a perennial ryegrass, much like what the Masters does at Augusta National. They're Bermuda based, but then they overseed it with rye. The reason why they can do that is because it's the transition zone. In the winters, they don't get harsh enough to where they don't get a ton of snow, but they can grow cool season grasses and it thrives during the winter, but then struggles during the summer. So you have a lot of people in the transition zone who have fescue lawns. So they'll be perfect in the spring, fall, winter, but then the summer, like they like dies off or goes dormant or looks bad. So again, the transition zone's almost like you can grow anything, but like there's certain seasons where like they don't really work. So in that type of zone, you can choose kind of whatever you want. Each one has their own different care and needs and all that stuff. And then you have the northern climates, which Michigan, Maine, Minnesota, Washington, you grow cool season grass like fescue and Kentucky bluegrass. Bermuda can grow in the north, but only during the summer, and then it's going to go dormant. So you're not going to choose Bermuda as your grass. So those three separate growing zones
Hmm.
are sort of like kind of like where I ask, somebody asked me like, what type of grass should I get? Well, where do you live? Texas, probably Bermuda zoysia. And if you like the thick stuff, do St. Augustine. If you're in Minnesota, probably Kentucky bluegrass or a fescue. If you're in South Carolina, well, do you like stripes or no stripes? Do you want easy grass to take care of or hard grass to take care of? Because fescue is a lot harder to take care of, I believe, in South Carolina, just because fungus pressure, it's humid. There's just like a couple things that you have to you got to kind of know what you're doing with fescue or hire somebody who knows what they're doing to have fescue in like a transition zone. Just because the fungus pressure is real, it gets a little bit hotter than what it does in Michigan. So, but typically for transition zone or lower, you're probably going to be Bermuda zoysia. Northern, you're probably going to be Kentucky bluegrass or a fescue. So,
One question I got to ask you, that because in this area, and you've been to Hilton Head, you play the golf courses, and right now we're getting into spring, but most of the courses, because it's a tourist area,
hmm
will do a heavy overseed of rye
hmm
or a mixture of rye and bent,
hmm
usually somewhere around rye, 7 to 4 parts bent. I know one course that went 9 parts bent to 2 parts rye, and everyone said he was crazy, and it came out unbelievable. I mean, their
hmm
greens were absolutely, it was like putting in the north.
hmm
They were great, but one thing that they have always had problem here is in transition. So the heavier overseed, the
yeah.
harder the transition is, and then they get into, well, did you tax the soil? And then talking to some people who are very smart on that, they said no. If you're fertilizing correctly, you're not going to overtax the soil because you're resupplying it. So
hmm
spending time in, we'll say, the southern region and South Carolina in particular, when courses do overseed it, and not to get too far, because but there will probably be some people in the agronomy sector listening. But for the average golfer, when they get in overseed, or they're on a greens committee, or they're at their club, overseeding, good, bad, indifferent. Do you have an opinion on that? And I don't want you to get bombarded with, hey, we do this at our club and it's worked, that
Yeah.
type of thing. But just because it's a big thing in the South,
Yeah.
and you have expertise in this, I was just curious myself as to overseed, yes, no, too much, too strong, not, to keep it moderate.
I would say if you don't know what you're doing, it's gonna be very tough for you. I'm borderline, I don't have an agronomy degree. I just try it, do it, see what worked, and if it didn't work, why didn't it work? And let's try it again next year.
Hmm.
I love overseeding because I mean, I've got drone photos of where my grass is just perfectly green, striped, and looks so beautiful, and then everyone else's grass around me is stark brown. It's all dormant. That's the coolest thing ever because it looks like everybody else's is dead and they don't know what they're doing, and then yours is like, well, how'd you do that? From that standpoint, I love overseeding, but yeah, that transition, it's difficult. And from a homeowner point of view, the reason why it's difficult, I guess, is the there's a chemical that ryegrass lets off. It's called like allelopathy or allelopathic chemical or something like that. It's basically it's stealing nutrients from the Bermuda. And while Bermuda is dormant, it still does need the fertilizer. It still does need nutrients to come out of dormancy in the spring when it starts heating up. So if the ryegrass is stealing all those nutrients in the soil that the Bermuda needs to sort of be in that hibernation phase and then come out of dormancy, it needs those nutrients and the rye's already stolen it. It makes that transition difficult. Now the ryegrass, there's two ways of taking care of it. You can just let the heat kill it off. So just keep on mowing until they kind of fight it out and
Hmm.
Bermuda comes out of dormancy. Could come in patchy. There's a lot of things that there's a reason why Augusta National looks the way it does early summer compared to what it does,
Now,
the spring. It's beautiful now. Just take a look at it in like May or June. It doesn't look that great. It's because it's just fighting that
transition.
burn. It's
Yes,
that
in that
transition.
transition.
It's tough. Another thing from a homeowner standpoint is the chemicals that a homeowner would use to kill off the grass or the ryegrass in order for the Bermuda to come out of dormancy. So some people will choose to chemically kill off the ryegrass so the Bermuda just doesn't have any competition coming up. You don't necessarily want to spray that while it's transitioning. It could ding it. So it could delay that green up. And it also needs heat in order to work. So it's like there's no like perfect transition. Again, if you don't really know what you're doing, that transition period can be like really terrible for you, especially if you're like, I just want like really green grass and like it just doesn't look good for like a month. For somebody with OCD and who loves their grass, it's hard to look at. But these agronomists and these superintendents who do this all the time, they know exactly the timing. They have diaries of dates and times and everything that they're using to make it transition as perfectly as possible. But like honestly, if you've never overseeded in the South, it's just I would do it once just to try it because there's nothing like striping ryegrass in October, November, and then like February, March, April. Oh, it's just like
Perfect.
it's just perfect. Like the grass literally looks fake, especially if you feed it well, mow it well. It just ryegrass in the South is like my favorite thing ever. Now I have ryegrass, all year round.
Oh, you're around. That's right.
Exactly, yeah. Unless there's 12 feet of snow outside. So.
What is one of the myths about lawn care that most homeowners should ignore?
That they should ignore?
Yeah, that you see out there that spreads in the lawn care ether. Is there something that's prevalent that it just like most people who really know what they're talking about will just roll their eyes, and that the average person just like, they keep hearing it or they keep seeing it, and then they's like, I got to do this, and someone messaged you and is like, I don't. I get that quite a bit. I don't. Maybe stay away from that. Is there anything along those lines?
So I would say there's probably tiers to that. So probably these agronomists who maybe are listening to this or just have so much experience in the golf course maintenance side of things, they would probably roll their eyes at 99.9% of the things that goes on in these Facebook groups that people are arguing about. But there's like what they would say is like scalping your Bermuda in the spring. They would be like, you don't scalp your Bermuda in the spring. You just keep on maintaining it at a certain level and it'll green up. You don't need to scalp it or burn it. You don't need to burn your Bermuda. You know, it's
Mhm.
like, so they would probably look at that and be like, you don't need to do that. I would say the biggest thing, like the myth that people message me and like, oh, should I be doing this? Is those snake oil type things. Very elementary. It's just the soil amendments, the micronutrients, it's just the gimmicks. I would say is just there's so much marketing going on out there of people just pushing all of these liquid products that are guaranteed to make your lawn look amazing. It's just like if you just knew how much money they're making and like what actually was in there, like you can honestly do it yourself by some you can get what's called DEF. You know what DEF is? Like diesel exhaust fluid. Like that's pure nitrogen. You can actually just use DEF, which is extremely cheap in a concentrated form. You can use that as nitrogen on your grass, and it would do the same thing as what these people are charging $65 for a quart or something like that in just a concentrated version.
Wow.
It's just if you just knew what was in these liquid magic formulas, it would just be like, what am I paying for? I'm paying $60 for like DEF. That's weird.
What about, aerifying? 'Cause you've had a number of videos where you
Mhm.
aerify and then you do I don't know what kinda cut it is, but it's like the grass is, I wanna say chopped up as opposed to cutting, but I've seen, and I might have it wrong. I had to watch so
Okay.
many of your videos the last couple of days just to do some more homework.
Yeah.
Aerifying and prepping the lawn for where it, like you said, you take it from, wow, it really looks good, and no, this is the time I got to do this for
Mhm.
improved health and longevity. Aerifying would be one, and I guess verticutting,
Mhm.
and even so much as scalping it at certain times to get a fuller growth. I
Yeah.
know that those are three things all lumped into one, but you touch on those a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's certain trains of thought, but again, if you want your lawn to look like a golf course, you do what golf courses do. They're constantly aerating the greens. Why? Well, you need nutrients, air, water to get down to the roots for them to grow deeper. Now, greens are built on a sand base, so that they're not really doing this. Our lawns are built in the south, they're built on a clay base. So the goal is to get water, nutrients, fertilizer down deeper into the soil for the soil to amend and be better for your grass. We talked about soil health, aerating, so deep tine core aeration where you're pulling like 3-inch deep cores. Now, water, fertilizer, soil, everything kind of can get down there and open up your soil to accept nutrients a little bit better, to just
Mhm.
be a little bit better. We're looking out for that soil health right there. Also does help with drainage a little bit because it's unpacking that hard clay. You can also amend the soil. So by aerating, removing the cores, and then maybe throwing some sand or some compost or something like that, you can actually add compost, you can add organic matter into that clay and eventually sort of make the top 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of your clay, you can make it into brown dirt. That is incredible for your grass health. And then verticutting. So as a rhizomatic and stolen growing grass, zoysia, Bermuda, they all grow kind of sideways and they get really thick. There's eventually, especially when you're reel mowing and you're cutting a lot, your mower starts to float.
Mhm.
And there's certain indications, even with a rotary mower, you could be mowing every day and it starts turning brown whenever you cut it. It's because your mower is kind of sinking and floating. And if you hit a bump, it sort of bumps it, but it's that grass getting so thick. So verticutting it, you can dethatch it. You know, there's certain people who say you can't dethatch Bermuda. You can totally do it. But getting some of that sideways growth up and allowing your mower to cut those off. Now you're thinning it out a little bit so that it can grow a little bit healthier. You're getting all of that older growth up, cutting it, and then newer growth can kind of sort of grow in. So that usually happens about like the July time frame. It just starts when it starts heating up, the rains start coming. I mean, your grass is just getting incredibly thick. You can thin it out a little bit to make it even healthier. And they're constantly verticutting greens. They're constantly verticutting fairways. They're doing that every 2 weeks, it seems. And that's just because it's healthy for the grass.
Yeah, so sometimes in the fairways in this area, because obviously we're heavy Bermuda, especially in the summer, if the you can tell the courses that haven't done it because the golf cart almost feels like it's sliding or
Yeah.
shimmying as you're driving down the fairway. It's like, whoa, whoa, what's going
Hmm.
on here? And I
Yeah.
think I've always assumed that that's what's happened, that it just got too thick.
Thick grass is great until it's not.
Yes, it's gotten over thick.
It's too thick, and yeah, you start it's like, again, when you kinda take that path of like, man, I start honing in your grass, you know it just so well, and then it's like, it's just, like, not looking as great. I don't know why, honestly, it's probably just too thick. And you can do that in the north too with, like, Kentucky bluegrass that also sort of grows sideways. It grows with those, the rhizomes and stolons. Sorry, just stolons. But you can verticut that to make room for new growth and thinning it out. It's like, "Oh, you just messed up the lawn." Like, "Just wait a week. It'll look a lot better, I promise."
Yeah, it does look terrible. I mean, well, and look, like I said, I've been around the golf industry and grass and yards and fairways and stuff for 40 years. And knowing that, even watching some of yours where you go through those processes, I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
he just destroyed his lawn. But then here you go, videos a couple weeks later, and it's like, wow, it really is this photoshopped or is
Yeah.
this grass really gotten that
It's
good?
better. It's almost like the harder you treat Bermuda, the better it responds. Like, the more you cut it, the more you just dig up all the stuff, the more yeah, I don't know, you can scalp it and it'll come right back. It's just
Hmm.
like the harder you treat Bermuda and even zoysia, the better that it comes back. So it's grass is crazy.
It is crazy. As we're winding down here, if you had to give golfers one lawn tip that could make their lawn look like the club that they play at, would there be one or would it have to be a couple?
One tip to the club that they play at?
No, for the to make the if someone would if someone listening has always had the desire to make their yard look more like the golf course that they play at, where it's green, it's lush, it's just look they're proud of it. They can sit on their
Yeah.
porch and their neighbors walk by like you do. And I'll reference that one video you had. About 3 or 4 of your neighbors sit down and they're drinking beer and they're watching you.
Yeah.
That was a great one.
That was awesome.
But for somebody to get that response, is there what would be the top 1, 2, or 3 things that they can start doing?
I'm actually gonna pivot that and say, to obviously the mowing, the fertilizing, and water, but I'm gonna help them imagine something real quick. So imagine that they start doing their own research and they start, fertilizing, watering, mowing correctly. Imagine
3
then
times a
getting
week.
3 times a week, getting the robot mower
Yep.
and going. But imagine just getting a small reel mower, a cheap reel mower, or something like that, and cutting in a simple putting green, not as low as what you see at a golf course or anything like that,
Mhm.
but something that is like a chipping green or something in their backyard. Imagine having buddies over. So instead of going out and playing golf, you have buddies over for free. You spend the money on the beer and do a little Augusta National tournament or something like that in your backyard. I'm going to pivot that and say, do your research. Oh, maybe get your hands on a real mower or something like that and do a little putting green. It is the funnest thing on the entire planet to have a group of guys come over. You have golf playing on a TV somewhere outside, you're grilling steaks, drinking whatever, and just having a little tournament in your backyard. The It will literally, like, the guys will talk about it for like the next 6 years. So that's more so the inspiration of like, this is, do your own research on how to get your grass like that. But the coolest thing ever is to have people over to admire what you've taken care of, but then also just like having like a little area that you've set up with a flag and a mini chipping green or whatever it is. It's just like, it's literally like the coolest thing ever is just to run a little tournament at your house and just
Yeah, and
have some
it's the
fun.
camaraderie, as
Camaraderie.
I'm past the half century mark, and I can look back now and say I spent my 20s busting my hump just as much as possible trying to get myself established. Your 30s, you're working to build as much as you can. Your 40s, you're kind of pressing it, and then all of a sudden you realize, wow, I haven't spent time with my buddies in a while. But
Yeah.
late 40s into your 50s, that it becomes very important. I think a lot of the studies are coming out now that spending time with friends is very, very much needed. If
Yeah.
you don't, start to guys in particular will start to get depressed if they don't have that male camaraderie, making fun of each other, needling each other,
Hmm.
and it doesn't my experience, it doesn't take a lot for someone to do that in their backyard. I mean, they could probably go to their
Hmm.
local thrift store and find an old school rotary mower, just if you can get the blade sharp. You just
Yep.
need to make a target green,
Yep.
uh, and start that way, and next thing you know, your friends and family, you'll start having so much fun. Maybe then take it to the next level. You don't have to
Yep.
go from not having anything to a yard like yours, take it in
Hmm.
steps and enjoy the journey.
Yep. And I promise you again, and going out golfing with your buddies is like the best thing ever. It's great. but like there's something about doing it at your house and just kind of having that vibe. I promise you, just try it once and like it'll be an annual thing. Like it's just that vibe of having dudes at your lawn. It's just you're just kind of showing off what you did with your lawn. It just I don't know. It's something about it having like a little quote unquote home golf course that people can play at is just the coolest thing ever, and it's addicting, and that's what will kind of get you going and down the path of the dangerous path of
Yes.
highly managing your grass because then it's just well the next year I got to make it better,
Yeah,
So
exactly. You're gonna take it step by step and enjoy it while you're doing it.
yeah. So maybe that'll spur a golfer who kind of wants their lawn to be like, I'm going to do it this year. It's super cool.
Do you remember Jerry Foltz? He was on the Golf Channel, and then now he's doing announcing for Live.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Jerry's been on the podcast, and he and Karen Stupples have been together for quite some time, and they're down outside of Orlando. And the only reason I bring this up because this is exactly what we're talking about. Jerry had told me that they have TPC of Beer Run, and Karen posted on it yesterday because they have both been working a lot, and Karen was just up here at Long Cove for the junior or the girls tournament. I believe it's the Hootie tournament, and she said we've kind of neglected TPC or Beer Run, but they have their own little small golf course in their
Yeah.
yard that when they have friends over, they just go out and it's great. So yeah, just
It's
start
just
with
so much
something
fun.
small, man. Even
Yep.
if it's a 8-foot diameter green or chipping area in your backyard, do that and have fun with your
Yep.
friends and family and kids and wife and everybody else. And then you can start parlaying that into your yard and you'd be a very proud person.
Yep.
You'll be the next lawn dad.
Exactly. Lawn Dad 2.0. Love it. Hopefully somebody listening to this is Lawn Dad 2.0.
Yes, that'd be great. It'd be good to see a challenge out there, the Lawn
Yep.
Dad Challenge, and see who can get their yard the best. Maybe when you talk to the Home Depot people, maybe, hey, let's come up with something, run
Yeah.
this, and then we do it. They get a year's supply of fertilizer or
Yep.
pre-emerge. And
But they have to listen to the Golf 360 podcast.
yeah, that's right.
Episode. Yeah.
It
That's the
started here.
prerequisite.
That's entry level one. Where can people follow you? And of course, we'll always have the links to all your websites and social media handles. But go ahead and tell everybody while they're listening, they can jot it down or copy it or whatever they need to do.
So Instagram is at the.lawn.dad. The lawn dad wasn't available at the time, unfortunately. And then TikTok, Instagram, or TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. It's just the lawn dad, but it's going to be my face on there, my ugly mug on there, and with a blue check mark. Don't follow anybody else who isn't the blue check mark.
No, and you'll definitely see that you can tell that it's TJ's channel because the lawn's so great. You'll see the American flag lawns, and you'll know you're in the right spot. Those are some great ones too.
That was fun, man.
TJ, it's been a blast. I really enjoyed it. Again, when you get down to this area again, visit family and come on down. We'll play some golf. I don't have a big enough yard in the back to do a chipping green, but I got a great grill, and we do steaks and beer and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely, I'm there, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Everybody, thanks for checking us out again. God bless. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
All right. Just needs it.